First of all, I did promise at the end of last week that I wanted to do a deep dive into the murder. Yes, I used the M word, the murder of Stuart Lubbock. It was the 23rd anniversary this weekend since the death of the Essex man. Stuart was a butcher's supervisor who died under extremely suspicious circumstances at the home of the television personality Michael Barrymore on March 31st, 2001. Now, Michael Barrymore and two others who were present, James Footers and Simon Shaw, reported finding Stuart unconscious in the swimming pool of Barrymore's home in Roydon, Essex. He was discovered by the pathologist at the hospital to have serious anal injuries with traces of ecstasy, cocaine, and alcohol in his blood. Now, I've interviewed Stuart's ex-wife, lovely Sue Homan, a few times, and she is absolutely desperate, as are others, for this 23-year-old mystery to be solved. Sadly, Stuart's dad, Terry, died before he was able to see justice for his son. So, some background information. Michael Barrymore was a huge star in the 90s in the UK. People thought he was one of them. He was seen as all right kind of lad, you know, down to earth, that kind of thing. He married his manager Cheryl and hid his sexuality from everyone until the night he came out on stage while karaokeing rather, with a drag queen to New York, New York. "I think I'm gay today," he said. He took off his wedding ring and threw it into the crowd. On the night leading to Stuart's death, Michael Barrymore was at a local nightclub in Essex, and he decided to continue the party back at his place with a number of locals, including Stuart. The cab driver remembers taking a very drunken Barrymore home and recalls some extremely choice language he was using about wanting sex. The people present and who went back to Barrymore's home for the party included Stuart Lubbock, Kelly Campbell, Claire Jones, Simon Shaw, James Footers, Kylie Merritt, Justin Merritt, and Barrymore's boyfriend, Jonathan Kenny. They all went back to 4 Beaumont Park Drive, Roydon, Essex, and partied until Stuart's unconscious body was said to have been found in the swimming pool. Then chaos set in. The call to emergency services, Barrymore leaving the scene. He later claimed to Piers Morgan, I never fled the scene, he said. I don't know what it means then when you leave a crime scene in a hurry. Is that not fleeing the scene? Barrymore said there was no sex in the house that night. There was no orgy that I was aware of, despite lots of splashes in the newspaper saying otherwise. The coroner recorded an open verdict into Stuart's death and said he was unable to determine the cause of death. He made it clear that the partygoers had failed to establish the facts for him. Barrymore refused to answer questions at the inquest. Years later, Essex police had a new team take over the failed investigation with the aim of establishing the facts and building trust within the community. Essex police said, certainly the leader of it said, I believe somebody at the party knows what happened. That is completely and utterly a fact. There were suggestions that two guests claimed they had seen Michael Barrymore rubbing cocaine into Stuart's gums. In Stuart's bloodstream, there was MDMA. As I say, he had serious anal injuries, which was not caused by consensual sex. The press hassled his family immediately, claiming that he was gay. They hassled his mum, and she couldn't believe what she was reading about her son being involved in a gay orgy and then dead. The guests were absolutely compromised, including selling their stories to the press. Pathologists have routinely disagreed. The most recent pathologist is in no doubt whatsoever that there were clear injuries, including abrasions, injuries described as horrific, and it wasn't a simple drowning as the original pathologist had claimed. And so ITV, Barrymore's original home, they were they were desperate to rehabilitate him. They featured him on a series of programmes after that. This Morning, Piers Morgan Life Stories. None of it has really worked, although Barrymore has become something of a star on TikTok. Meanwhile, poor Stuart Lubbock's death remains an unsolved mystery. The people there know something. Yes, they do. I agree with Essex police. They have refused to do the right thing. No one should be allowed to remain silent when a brutal death has taken place in their midst. And on that note, rest in peace, Stuart Lubbock. And I pray that one day you and your loved ones will get the justice you deserve. And on that note, let's go check out the UK headlines with our Gemma.